Hello out there, James here. I hope you everybody doing out there doing fine and well, and hope you having staying cool in the apartment or house or wherever you're at, and just being careful of what's going on out here with this virus is going around, and just being careful. I wanted to make a video. Something been on my mind, and I saw something that was online. I don't know if many people have seen this thing, what happened in Georgia with the black militia going down there and protesting talking about Georgia. And some people thought it was something that's going to be provoked and it's going to turn into something fiasco. And there was assumption that innocent people were going to get shot because this revolutionary black militant group was going to go down and start shooting random people who are white, whatever. That was further from the truth. What had happened was, and I listened to the man who was the found behind it, and what his point was, there was a physical threat towards African Americans, and there was a certain living around, and there has been cases currently was going on. There are African Americans that some. This is not including what's going on in the major cities like Chicago, but that they were getting in areas where there's less population of black people, there was mysterious things was going on where some were getting hung up by the tree, some were getting mysteriously killed going out, and it was one video where it was in Indiana where they tried to really lynch this man, and I guess if there were some people with a camera there, they would have lynched him. This was in Indiana. And it's going on. There's happened cases like that where that the authorities were written it off as a suicide, and so some people know that there's some people just don't go around commit suicide, and so the reason why they was there because black people don't have most people feel like black people feel that they don't have no value. They have no voice. They have no say so. So here's some this other group of people, the Klan, and there must have been somebody else that threatened to shoot black people. They if they come this way, we're gonna shoot them. So that kind of put a tyranny with the threat. And if you see some in videos online, most of these people, they make good on their threat. They start attacking buildings. They start attacking government buildings. And this is what the black militias don't do. But black militias don't go after the government. Black militias don't go after certain groups. Black militias don't do that. They go after the ones who respond to the group that they're attacking to. They don't go around attacking other groups of people. They don't go around, challenging the government. If anything, they just want to know, just like any citizen know, if I don't bring enough force to show what's up, and if anybody attack us, step out the way. Basically, step out the way if they choose to attack because they're so angry at black people. But it doesn't mean that they were going down there and trying to go. And that's been the biggest fear for centuries, that blacks are going to guns. They're going to start shooting innocent random white people, whatever, or any other people. No, that's least furthest from the case. They were executing the amendment rights, to own the gun and freedom of speech, just like they did when this thing up in Michigan. You had a bunch of people running around with guns and among the crowd of people because they were protesting, and they practically, that woman took it as a threat on her life. If you don't do something, if you don't open up the business, they got the sidearm an air and rifle, and no one says the thing. And this is what this, and it was some militia group that, I don't know, was the militia group or whatever, but it was some militia group up there that threatened to do that, threatened to officials. So, one of the officials had to get a black militia group to protect them, the in case they come back with a physical threat. And it was the black representatives up there that had to protect, because you got some yahoo out here that's just so trigger happy with the gun. And some people figured that, and you see videos online of people, shooting things and arming some stuff like that. So that was not the case. But you get some people who wants to challenge, who still have that spirit of hatred towards black people, and they wanted they want to provoke something, and what happened is, for years and years and years, people heard this online. It was in certain settings. They've been wanting a race war, a race war, a race war, a race war. And it's the same thing. If you look at what happened out in Oklahoma, with Timothy McVeigh, who was an Army veteran, who got so fed up with the government, he goes out to Oklahoma and blows up the building because it goes against the core of his beliefs. I mean, no one said anything, but he was inspired by a book. Not to go out there and an innocent attack somebody, but he just felt like, well, I'm going to take on the government. Well, black militias don't do that. No, what they call black supremacist group never take on no government. They just they defend legally the right to do so. Anybody, they go, whether it's a threat in the inner community or whether it's a threat on the outside of the community. Any group of people going come to the aid, but they wasn't feel like they was getting hurt because black people feel that they lack value and no one's going to take them seriously when the call come. And it's automatically, there's a stereotype that you must have done something that provoked this. You must have did something to provoke this person. And I mean, automatically there's some people that make assumption, and you got some people who are in law enforcement who, when they even though they expect something, and if this person shows some kind of adjective or corrective way, this person who already came with the obsession, like, it's a black person, I seen him on TV, I seen him on news, I see how these people respond. And so they assume that they come into a threat, and here's people who weaponize this by calling the police on innocent people who not doing anything. And the results of, you see what happened with Mr. Floyd up there in Minneapolis, in which they still find out they can't verify that $20 counterfeit bill was even counterfeit. But as a result of someone calling the police, you get the wrong type of officer out there who murdered a man. And the reason why there was people were saying Black Lives Matter, and it basically was saying all lives matter. It don't mean that the other people who live in the United States, whether they're poor white, whether they're Latino or any other ethnic race, religion, sexual orientation, it doesn't mean that it devalues their stance. What it means is that whether this is particularly for men, women, black men, and women, and children, don't have a say so, and someone wants to excuse whenever there's something in among a neighborhood where there's black people and someone gets shot, innocent, yeah, it's something, but they want to deflect. But at the same time, while they focus on deflecting on this, there's an innocent person who's black is about to get choked out or something like that, or someone who mysteriously because someone called the police on somebody for no apparent reason. And you got people who use it as a weapon. And so he wasn't down it. And really, the whole premise of it, when I listened to the video, I watched it because I try to listen things with reason. What this is really all about. And basically, he was just saying he just had enough. He all he have seen enough of his people. He loved his own people. Every group of people on the planet love their own people. He, no matter if you're Latino, you're Italian, you're Greek, whatever. I'm Chinese, Korean, African. No matter, you love your own people. So when someone is affecting and making a threat, and they feel like there's no justice for them based on the skin color, it's gonna hit home, because just like you see someone that speak your language and talk where you from, and when you feel someone unjustifiably kill them, it kind of stirs something up in you. And then if you came from a people that injustice was going on, you're gonna have to respond. And I'm gonna use this as an example. You can look at the example, and a lot of people I love to use the Bible as an example. For example, if you ever read the Bible, you know a story about King David when he was a kid, when he was a young teenage kid, and every day there was a giant, there was an army, and you know the story about Goliath. Every day Goliath would always come out and say, he would come up in their camp, in their place, and say, what you gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna do nothing? You bring me one of your men so I can whoop you. Bring me one of your men out so because y'all people ain't nothing. Look at you, you scared. And Goliath kept talking all this stuff. And the men of Israel were scared because they was looking at his size. And his size to me represent, what he got control over the area, and this Palestinian, the Philistines was able to whip anybody with the giants, because wherever the giants were, they like, wow, we got some power here. He could just obliterate a giant. The giants could obliterate an army, and they were big and they were strong, and they were just massacring people and just rip up an army. So that gives a giant a kind of an ego, like, hey, you're not gonna come on out. Where's your God? And he was calling them out, insulting their God, insulting their spirituality, their system, their manhood, calling them all out. And so David, he sat back, and he kept hearing this all the time. Hey, is y'all gonna go out there and confront the threat? Oh no. And we're just gonna try to make peace with him. We're gonna try to rationalize with him. We don't want no trouble. But Goliath is not looking at it that way. Goliath is like, come on, and probably was grabbing men, beating men and smacking men around, and probably smacking women around and children around, and they were bullies. And so they gave the Philistines a bully. So we get behind this bully because we can intimidate these people. Because here is Israel. They've been intimidated, because it was a situation where we got the Goliath represents the force, the giant, and everything, and like a form of a government and a principality that we can do whatever we want to do. If we want to make your day miserable, I'm gonna make your day miserable. We have to kill you. And what you gonna do? Because you ain't gonna do nothing. So David, being a small, stature, they say was a small young man. So he said, well, let me deal with him. And of course, the story how the men, his brother, like, oh, go, boy, you don't want to mess with him. He's Goliath. It's a small kid that want to come out there, that want to take on the challenge. Now they're saying, come on out here. And here Goliath said, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill all you. And probably he's cursing and cussing, and he's throwing out. So finally, they say, what do I have to do? What would happen if I take him down? And they say, of course, the story. They would give him reward. Now everybody know that when an act of war, a fighting always fair. So the next, the story, how the way he went out to talk and stuff. So here he come to the battle, and he still, and here his Goliath still talking mess, still talking mess. You ain't gonna do nothing. And in fact, he laughed at him at first. You just a puny. You a weak. I'll destroy you. I'll eat you up and kill you. What you gonna do? You ain't nothing. Send me out. You gonna send me this kid out here? That was Goliath's response. This is in the Bible. This is true. A true story. So when it took David said, "Come on, you gonna do this for the one last time. I'm tired of you to honor my people out. I'm tired of you insulting your God." And so before he went out in the battle, he consulted with God, and God said, "Take him down." So he and you know the story about Goliath about to come with the sword. He got his battle armor ready, and here come David with the sling and the rock, and he knocked the giant down. And of course this is how war. And this is in the Bible, because a lot of people peace and love. Yeah, but sometimes there's a war when someone calling you out and saying, "What you gonna do? We gonna intimidate these people, because we got the land, we got the system on our side." Because no one think about these people. These people are disposable. So basically, it was the same situation with Joshua. Joshua was supposed to take the land, and at that time he sent some spies in. And there was some doubt, like, man, we can't whip these cats, man. They got the government, they got the giants over there. They got a stronger army. They gonna whoop us. They got all the military might. They gonna whoop us. But Josh had it brave in his system, and he asked the Most High. And to him and Caleb and a few others said, and pray, give me victory, and stop the whole solar system until we whip they behind. And what happened? They got victory. It's the same thing, and you narrated to today. Like they said, the Ku Klux Klan and other people feel like we got the government on our side. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? We can intimidate any people we want, and then some people will act out and do what they do. So we can kill someone of a different religion, and we can get away with it. We can kill someone of a different race, and we can get away with it. Because in America, U.S. has this history of it, and there's some people that want to renege, and this is where the flag came in. The Confederate flag came on in because it represents some type of entity and power. So therefore, he said, and the ones we put the tyranny and terroristic fear into, then these people are not going to rise. They're not going to rebel. And each time a leader has a rise, we're going to cut the head off. So naturally, it put a fear, just like the children of Israel at that time. We can't rise because they're going to do it again. They want to convict the violence. Now, mind you, you got someone sit up there and said that we're going to kill black people. They've been harping. We go and some people go out and carry out what they do, and it's not affected. Now maybe you might be a white person that don't have that feeling. There wasn't what it is was he's not coming at he don't want to deal with you. He wants to deal with the one that said, I got a hatred so my heart I'm willing to kill somebody. So that's what it's about. It's about confronting the ones who feel like they can just keep on doing tyranny, and we're gonna use our patriotism to execute what we do on anybody. If I feel like I want to smack somebody around who is a Muslim or who was LGBTQ, I can do that because the law is on my side. I got the government on my side. I got individuals up in certain places that can get me out. This is what went down in Brunswick, Georgia. That's what gave them the power to do what they do. And here's a young man that it was evidence that he didn't do, and I'm talking about Marjorie. He didn't do anything. But he went to just because he went to a neighborhood and it turned out like he was suspect. And instead of just letting it call and letting the police handle it, we're gonna play outlaw. And then they came with a shotgun on on a citizen. And so that provoked them to come down. And that was one of the reasons why that provoked that. Because they didn't wait, these people want to be their own law, and so they could feel like they can justify, because the law will see that you see these people on TV, they're criminals. And so when you paint the picture and you paint the image, then it's like, okay, and then the news, then the media goes along with it, paint the narrative like, okay, he must have had some type of drug in his system that go him to break into houses. They tried to tear this young man in Georgia down, the one was running through the neighborhood, and he was just, and his family was saying he just liked the job. He just liked to run. So he was going there because maybe he's seen a house, and he wanted to one day buy a house in the neighborhood and be a productive citizen or whatever. But apparently you have some people that had an evil governance over that area that felt like this is, no, we had to keep them out, and we want to keep these people out. So they try to send a message. That's basically, and this would kind of provoke this to come on through, and then someone turn around saying that we're going around the 4th of July, we're gonna start. You just grab up a random black. What they have. This was a history in America with this. They would grab, and at the turn of the century, and around that 1776, black people were getting lynched. They were getting killed as initiation, and right during celebration. So this was going on. So they want to reenact that this was part of Stone Mountain, Georgia. They say that there were rituals. People, they would snatch and lynch people on them around that mountain, and celebrate someone being hung and burnt and tortured to death. So what we gotta do is we gotta go find. Let's start, because what America do wants to reenact things like they did 400 years ago. And this exactly in the history books show this is what happened. It wasn't to go down there to harm innocent people. It was go down to make a political statement. You make a threat like a Goliath. You have a David's going to rise up and say, hey, I want to deal with this. I want to deal with the ones that say, hey, let's deal with it. That's basically what it is. Let's go. No, I'm not coming at you, but you didn't make the threat. This individual made the threat. He said that he wants to come and kill black people. So he's like, that's the one you want. Like, you want to come on, let's match up. Let's go crazy. But let it be known, basically, man on a mano. This you don't have the old slave that's going to be terrorized. You don't have the descendant of the slave that would just say, we just want to get along. What can we do? Like you negotiate with the devil or demons. Some people are not scared to confront evil, demons and devils. They're not scared. And obviously the leader, he's not scared. He don't have no fear. He doesn't care. He wants to confront the evil. Has nothing to do with confronting someone's skin or religion or whatever, trying to import their views. He was confronting the evil that he was confronting to. Even when they address something, like I listen. Sometimes I sit back and I listen to these guys. I might listen to what makes, for example, like someone like a Farrakhan. What makes an anti-Semite make it that he hate white people, but yet he's in the picture with white people. He's posing with Jewish people. How's he anti-Semite? He's been a guest in the synagogue in their house, and he's taking pictures with Jewish leaders. So I said, obviously, but they just got done saying that he's anti-Semite. No, what he was, he said, I'm speaking against the ones who do evil. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with someone's spiritual perspective. I got to deal with the one who's evil. And sometimes it would mean evil confronting someone who even look like you in your own skin color. I'm going to confront you with it. I'm gonna get on you just as I'm get on with somebody else, because it's all about I'm gonna reveal if you doing something that's disrespectful and that's cheating, being the deceiver, then you need to be called out. That's all what that was. It's not about let's go down and start picking on random people, jumping on random people. That's furthest from the thing. He's not this man from what I've seen is smart. He had to understand the politics of something on how to way this country before you do something like that and exercise his amendment rights. And that's basically what it is. And because when you see a people that keep dying and dying at the hand of individuals by someone calling the law enforcement or someone and he don't just react just because someone's blocked. First of all, he evaluates if it's an unjust cause case before he go down there. Because sometimes some people, if it's good with the good or bad, you deal with it. But if they're wrong, you let it go. But it's like he wants to bring true justice. And as far as I'm concerned, every group of people, they said, well, he's being racist, but ain't everybody proud? Every other group, you may not know this, and you may not ever sit down and talk with some people, but until you find out when you get inside when you get on one-on-one with the person, you start talking about different groups of people, or you sitting in a bar, or you sitting someplace in a country club or someplace, and they start talking about an individual, a sports figure, and you find out that this person said, yeah, and all of a sudden they call someone the N-word, or like an athlete like a LeBron James or something like that, and you're like, wow, but it's that, and not only, and it goes from just calling someone an N-word to like, now I'm going to eliminate the N. And that's basically what it is. That my hatred would turn it into a point of I'm going to act out. I'm going to act out on what I hate you. And there's some people that do that with people with different religion. You have somebody that go attack someone's synagogue because they can't handle the fact that they're Jewish. And next thing you know, and this was the case that happened down in Pittsburgh. All of a sudden, just went just went there, and it was a black guy did something similar to it, but this guy went up in there and did the same thing, just attack innocent people for no apparent reason, who had nothing to do with his issue. But someone he heard something, or some off of some website, or some bitter ass person who's bitter at every group of people, including the government. And so we're gonna launch out and figure we can get away with it. And I'm gonna die and I'm gonna get away with it, and I can get to go back out and cause more tyranny again. But we don't like to look at the person because of this. And that's what some police officers don't want to deal with, and especially when there's been people that shot them that look just like them. That someone could be their cousin or their brother. But they usually they're so trained to assume that it's the black, it's the lower class, it's the poor class that's going to, and then you find out you don't know what kind of individual you're dealing with when you go up on his property. And I've seen online where someone literally chasing who is non-black, chasing the police with their own weapons, threatening the government. I've seen this, but I've seen it happen, and it's just some people not only that they carry out the threat, but it's like, what's up? I mean, but it's the perception, the reason why these things happen to innocent people, just like the police officer in Toledo, Ohio, that they don't tell you about. This man killed this cop, and he was a white male. He killed this police officer for no apparent reason. He just killed them because, I don't know, maybe he feel like something involved with his rights. And the cop was going there and maybe talking reason with the dude. He ended up shooting the police officer in Toledo, Ohio. And they didn't want to show it because the news media didn't want to paint the narrative. They didn't even show his face. So like they don't want to send a message that evil, but keep the evil as this, not looking like this letter. With the and I said that's the truth. And so it's sad that even people who have perception and some assuming that just because someone that they see someone on TV and they go to an inner city and you see crime and you see inner city youth, black inner city youth, that they put an image in people's head to be less sensitive to black people. So therefore, when a black person who, and if they see them seem like they fight and resist, well, look, they figure, look at the area, that's why we're trying to contain them, and at the same time pertain them where they're at. But at the same time, when that police officer who have the one who have the biased opinions, who do this stuff with like a Breonna Taylor, who do a Audrey, who do like a Mr. Floyd, they get this mindset, so they act on what they do. So therefore, you keep seeing people, and this is why the black militia said, "I'm not fighting with that. It's the unjust ones you do. That's why we showed up, because it's like you look like we, and then no one is taking it seriously. It's like they're sweeping it under the rug, like because it's the perception is you already proved that they're criminals. You already proved that I'm not gonna take it serious. It's black people. They cry about race all the time. You know what they do, and it's this kind of attitude. And then therefore some people won't even take a report because black life really didn't matter. So someone had to keep pushing the issue. I mean, it happens to other people too, but I'm saying when it comes, it's just something about some people who don't want to do their job in law enforcement. And some people who are in that law enforcement carry their biased opinions. Some of them do. Who are non-black do. Some do, not all, but some do. And it affects their job because it's like they look at the environment that they have to go to. And I mean, there's some people gonna be upset and it's hostile. Some people not gonna trust you. And the reason why you go into inner city because they've been abused by the very ones that they have watched getting choked out and shoot out with. So that sends a message to that particular community of people that yes, as law enforcement, whether you can even be black, I don't trust you. Because this what they have witnessed over a period of time. No one's crying out for me. That no one's gonna come into the inner city. No one's gonna come to my call. So therefore, and when the cops do, it's too late. And then when they do, they don't do appropriate way how they do other people. They talk with them and let them live. Not just get this association. It's a physical. Unless it's someone physically. Now, if someone physically attack you, I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. But so someone that just with words and you just physically attack us, and someone's an officer like Mr. Floyd did. Well, what did I do? I'm not resisting. He didn't resist arrest. He did everything he done. And then they put him on the ground. And and put his knee on him. What is this call for? You didn't do this to this individual that's swaying. And then I go out and look at another video where an individual, and you look on one of the cop shows, it might be a person they don't even do that to in the country. And he's swinging at the police officer and beating him up and come on now, girl, come on down, come on, calm down, and he's swinging. But it's like you don't want to show the same thing, but here's someone about to kill you, take your life, steal the car. They take the police. Excuse me. They take the police car, and you see the subject is non-black. But this guy is about jumped on your police. And he don't like police either. In fact, he figured, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm at least gonna do a little time, and he gets slapped on the wrist. Well, if that black person do the same thing that he did, he's gonna get longer. If he live, he's gonna get longer time. And this is the kind of thing we see. Like, even the crime, this person is undomesticated. They're violent. They violent as I don't know what, and you show partial prejudice, and this is what some people do. And so, what he's saying, he witnesses time after time, and he's from that environment, and he rose up to an environment. But he just answering what's evilly been done. It's not about I'm going to go out there and just jump on random people simply because of color of the skin. That's nonsense. He says but if someone's going to make a threat, I'm going to let them know. You're not just going. I'm that person going to stand up. You're going to stand up to the bully, just like in the case I was saying with there's a David got to stand up to a Goliath. There's a Joshua got to stand up to the giants in the land. And said, no, you're not going to keep doing what you're doing. In fact, we're going to take this land. And we're going to take it and you're going to give it to us. But the giants is like this arrogant. They've been sitting on it behind. You ain't going to take nothing. We're going to defeat your army. You're not going to do anything because you're not going to reign in this area. And that's what it is. And if there's people in this area, we're going to intimidate. You ever see some movie like that? Where you get someone they ride through town in a little town, they start beating up on the husband, kill the husband, rape the wife, slap the children around, burn the village, until somebody and they feel like they get to the point they get emboldened to do that, to the point that what they gonna do? They poor, they peasant. What they gonna do? They can't fight back, and to the point that they go through this. So the next time they go through this, the men who are frail, who don't want to fight, it puts them at it. No, let's do this the peaceful way. It's like, but if you do it, you succumb to the evilness of what this individual do. And then when evil gets confronted with evil, wait a minute, you're doing evil too. Wait a minute, but you provoked the evil, you provoked it, and so. Now someone gonna respond to it. It's like anything else. If you threaten the president or threaten some selective individual, you don't think that someone's gonna come to your house and say from the government and gonna say, hey, you threatened the president. What did you mean by this? And they pull up the computer. What did you mean by that? You threaten. You got nuts that threaten the president, and you know that someone's gonna show up out of the government. You know that they're gonna show up out of the government. And say, you made a threat, and you can get some time for that. Anybody gonna respond to that? You can try if you want to. You have Homeland Security, FBI, CIA looking and say, what the heck? What did you mean? And they come to your door, and they track you down. Unless especially coming from a computer, they know how to track you, they trace you down. Got technology like I don't know what. But you make a threat. When you automatically do a threat, someone's gonna respond. So that's what that black militia man did. Someone threatened a group of people. He responded. That's basically what it is. And it was a righteous response, because some innocent person. And we don't stop this. This somebody who's the bully gonna keep bullying. If I don't send them, you're gonna stop this, or the bully, because some people are scared, and the people are just scared. So they feel like if they see that you scared, like a bully do, he gonna keep doing what he doing until someone is crazy enough to confront him, and to the point that hey, if it means cost them to take you out, I'm gonna take you out. And it's like, whoa. And that's the way an individual, and that's the same way when you look in the Bible, that's how the way it was. David could have been killed. Joshua didn't kill, but he had the victory. But he had to confront the bully. And these giants could have ripped them apart because they were suited in armor. And the reason why I'm using this is a set example. Is that why when you put out something, if you go to anybody's house and you make an idle threat, any real man gonna step up and say it's gonna be somebody in the house. That's it. Let's deal with this right now. Let's go. Let's go. And if it means guns, weapons, that's because somebody wants it. They initiate the and say it with words. Now the words are coming back and it's coming back at them. So that's what this was about. It's not to go and target innocent people who were white. I said that's the same thing. I said even with he said I'm not going to have one group of people who are what they call black supremacists. There's none of them. They said let's have our own, like any other group of people on the planet that have their own land. First Nation people, Native American Indians have their own. They like being around their own people. Amish people like being around their own people. Canaanite people, and these are people in isolated places throughout the country. Does that make them precious because they want to isolate themselves and they love their own people? Does that make them they want to separate themselves? No, it's just they have their own style. They have their own way. Now, what he's saying is that black people let's do the same thing. And those who choose, and realistically, we know that not every black person gonna want to separate and segregate and separate themselves. But when you go through so much certain time, and you live in a neighborhood, or you're going through a store, or you're going through some individual area where someone is acting out, want to see your death because they assuming you one of these people that they feel like they feel emboldened to treat you like that, and watch how the way the response is from the police. That's all it was about. And if anything, it's like, hey, I don't mind you being separate if that's because people already separate anyway. Every group of people, I made a video that when they do, majority of the people of that nationality stay among themselves, because number one, some don't speak the language. First, they don't speak the language. Two, they get accustomed of what their culture and what their upbringing needs. Even though they're in this country, they stick to every group of people stick. So people automatically separate. They automatically segregate themselves, and they do it. Now, do everybody of that nationality do it? No, but the majority of people of that nationality do it. When I was making a point about the businesses and things like that, when you go out and like in here in Ohio, every group of people, every ethnic group of people have their own, and the majority of people patronize their own people. They spend money with their own people. They feel comfortable being around their own people who talk their language, who have the same culture, the music and everything goes along with it. Does that mean that their prejudices too? Is someone black calling to do the same thing? No. Latinos people do it. East Indians do it. Middle Eastern people do it. And go on Pakistanis, West East Africans, Asians, different Vietnamese, Chinese, Koreans, go all Russians. Everybody have their own people. Like what I mentioned, they automatically segregate themselves by the majority. I mean, you see them come out to maybe go to a public store, but majority of times those people go back home. So basically, what he's saying that let them have their own. Those who choose, want to be among their own black people, and since black people to some of these people that they fear, that's scared or too confrontational, or too they just let's do for ourselves. That's basically what he's saying. It's not like no one. I never heard anybody say let's go attack. I never heard no one say go attack white people. Never. I never heard someone say you hate them to the point you launch attack at it. Just go out and just beat up a random person, whether they're white, Arab, gay, or whatever. No, I never seen a black person do that. Black people don't because they're Jewish. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't go around mocking. Most majority of black people Most African Americans are good by nature. I mean, we don't go around mocking other people's religion. We don't. We don't. I said most of us don't do that. Most of us don't. Most of us don't do that. It might be a communication barrier when you deal with some individual in his business, like a store, a convenience store or something. But majority of black people, most of the time, have a problem with other black people. But at the same time, I see what he's saying is that sometimes some people need to be set apart in order to heal, to figure out what's going on the internet that makes that come out. What's the problem? Why is it this going on? This madness among African American black people in this country. It's not about, let's go get our guns and go after, just go raid a suburb and raid a rural area and just start beating up random people and shooting at random people. No one is talking like that. No rational person doing that. What he's saying is basically, if people make you feel that comfortable, let's go somewhere. And if they can't, let's have our own. And if they don't want to honor that, then hey, let's go. And I understand that. Because people automatically do it anyway. Their people automatically segregate themselves. Majority of other nationalities do that. They may work with you, maybe they will go to school with you, maybe they have, something like that. But majority of people of the different nationality is among themselves. They don't come down. They don't go in your local town. They come to the United States and they have their own area. And whatever, and they shop, they store, they feel comfortable. No one's calling them out their name. No one's tell them about their religion or calling them. So you're gonna feel comfortable around your own people. And particularly, let's say if a person's a Muslim, they don't have to deal. If they're in a Muslim community, they got to deal with that. They got to deal with someone calling them out their name. They got to deal with someone making fun of their women or their children or something like that. Because and that's I don't blame them. If they want to say we want to separate ourselves, and that's what they do up in Flint, Dearborn, Michigan. They're Middle Eastern people. They're separate. Now, that doesn't mean that all of them do it. No, but I can understand the business side of it because that's what they do. You go to certain parts of the Southwest or whatever, you have majority of Latino populations in different parts of the states. Did that mean as they want to be separate? I mean, now they're welcoming in a business, but the majority are going to be around majority of people. Does that make them prejudiced? Does that mean does that make them racist? I'm just saying. I mean, you go, okay, I'll give you another one. People who are first generation Italian, Hungarian, Yugoslavian. Does that make them prejudiced? And they want to be around Hungarians. They want to be around Yugoslavians, Italians, Irish, German. Does that make them prejudiced? Because they want to separate themselves. I'm just saying. They want to do business with one another. And it's something unique about they want to celebrate their own culture. And I go on down the line of many other people that's in here, but they just say, hey, but since you have a problem with us because because you think so low of us, then maybe the low of us, so we can be removed ourselves and you can live and we can have peace. And that's basically what's the message. It was not about, I'm going to attack you because of him. I'm just going to go jump on a random white person and just beat them up because of what's this idiot did. No, I'm going to deal with the idiot who made the threat. That's basically what it is. You just step out the way. Let me deal with the idiot. And that's basically what it is. Let me deal with the bigot. And that's basically and it's another way of putting it. And if you go to church, you know what I'm talking about. The chapter in Ephesians 6 that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and the rulers of darkness, right? Now, those of you who have dealt with things like that, when someone's up on a demonic spirit, you're not coming after. You're not coming after flesh. What do? You confront the spirit. And you say, I see you, and God give you the eyes to see that spirit. He says, I see you. I'm calling. You come out. And that spirit get kind of like, hey, who you think you is? Da, 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 da. And it switches emotions. Now you get really bold and angry, saying you don't get up. I said get up out of him. Oh, why are you picking on me? And that's what I said that's what demons do. They do that. They but he was the one, and then he felt like, oh, then I said, I got you. Yeah, see, I told you was weak. You ain't shit. And I said, so that pisses you off, and the spirit of God said he playing with your emotion. Don't listen. Tell him to come up out of that person, and you get with authority, and you say get up out of it. And that demon, no, I got him clean. No. And it says sometimes somebody boldly, or whether the man or woman, had to confront that spirit and saying, you're gonna come up out of them or else. And then by the authority, they have the authority of the kingdom of God, and that thing, when they say that immediately, that thing has to break. And it's the same way sometimes, and some people operate like that. They want, and the devil, and what do demons and devils do? They cause chaos. They cause conflict. And saying, and you see it within your own family. But somebody had to be bold enough to go in and confront the demon and say, get up out of here, or else I'm going to, and they applied in the name of Jesus, and you're going to execute up out of here, or you're going to suffer the consequence by the Almighty God. And that demon, he'll fight, and he'll, no, I ain't going nowhere. Da-da-da-da-da. You just picking on me. Da-da-da-da. And he'll cry. He'll show every kind of emotion, and he'll blame it on you. You the one that did. He'll do it. He'll flip it 3 different 4 personalities. But you experience it in the Word. You know how to, because God taught you how to way to deal with them. They're gonna flip like this, and it's the same way you had sometimes. And it's the same model you had to deal with. And someone don't sit up there and be an instigator, and they agitate and stuff. You go deal with the instigator and the agitator, and they want to deal, and they want to be a bully, and then they turn into a threat. Then you say, hey, all right, I'm coming to your doorstep. I'm dealing with the threat. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. No, you spoke it, and now it comes to pass. So you speak something, you asking for something, and this is what some people were doing. They were saying, we're gonna kill black people. Somebody in the black community heard say, what? And then some people were like the children during the time of, what? We calling you out. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You're gonna go kill each other again. But somebody among the group say, wait a minute. I'm coming after you. I'm gonna confront you, like a demon. And now they've been called out. You cause it. You, in the same way you threaten the government. You've been called. You better be bad. If you so bad enough, they try. I don't see you trying to fight the government. But they bad. They talk all this stuff, about how they gonna do this and do that. They're gonna do this to the president or whatever. But when that president come with his army and say, "What's up? What you gonna do?" Well, I ain't say that. Well, you said that. Who told you something like that? And they got it online and think this is what you said. And now I say, now your day is threatening and hiding and hide. What devils do is hide, and they throw and hide again. No, it's over. That's basic, and it's the same principle. You can't issue a threat to people, and it's with any group of people. And this go for any group of people. You do this to any people, somebody is going to respond. Don't think that. Don't take someone's kindness for weakness. Don't just think that because And then I think sometimes it's with Americans. You got some people that come to this country. They ain't got nothing to lose. They don't care about. It's not like this. Ain't like Hollywood. You're not gonna be a Rambo all the damn time. I mean, some people gonna fight and shoot and kick you back. Some people gonna out fight you, out shoot you, out knife you, out everything. Don't think that you're the baddest cat on the block when you're the bully, because there's somebody out there that can do it, and there's somebody of a different nationality that can do it. There's somebody's crazy, and they say, hey, if you're crazy enough to do it, but remember this: if you make a threat, you better carry out with it. And that's basically what he's saying. You better carry out, because some people are at that point, and then you do this in the middle of something like that. You're basically asking for it. I'm just telling you, I'm not the kind of person that's a violent person either. I wouldn't do something like that. I wouldn't go around challenging any group or individual to a fight. I mean, you gotta be doggone nuts, especially over the internet. And then you don't know this guy knows this guy. You don't know much about his background. He can probably track you. You don't even know it. He's not gonna tell you how he's gonna track you. He's not even gonna roll up on you. It's like evil don't. If I had to confront with evil, and God showed me how to confront the evil, He gonna show me how the way to confront evil in a way that it's gonna surprise the evil that you confront. I mean, that's just common sense. So it don't pay to do evil, and sometimes it don't pay to be an instigator and start stuff. I'm just saying, just something to think about. And then when the people who saying that, who say that, when they actually see what a war is about, it's not like the movies. It ain't like the movies. When a war takes place, and it sounds like that man, he's been in the military, so he know. And like the other ones who are in part of them groups, they know. You call somebody out, we go to war, something's gonna be provoked, and it's gonna be caught. So let's not take it there. But you got some people like a Timmy that do something, try to act out like a Timothy McVeigh. So you got to put it to stop to it before it even happens. Because even if you start thinking about it, you got to put a stop to it. And there's some individuals out there that go online and do that, trying to act out. Either you act out, there's going to be consequences. It's the same thing, anything in life. If you individual to go shooting up someone's neighborhood is a game, don't think that someone's going to, and they see your face, don't think someone's going to retaliate. Because you made first strike. Then you threatened, then you activated, then you made first strike. But since it has ended up into words, that's one thing. But that's what it's about. It's about confronting the evil. They don't confront. It's not about race. It's about confronting evil. And whoever come behind and confront the evil. That's what it is basically about. Whether it's at the high top or the low top. Come on, don't hide behind somebody. You like, you know what I'm saying? You know how the way if it was a terrorist. It's like you talking all that stuff. Now when someone show up at your door and you're gonna threaten, let's say that someone threatened the United States, what happened? United States showed up at someone's door. Now what you gonna do? Now what you gonna do? We on your territory. What you gonna do? We got rifles, guns, missiles. What you gonna do? And that's basically, it's the mentality. So when you make an idle threat, and that's just giving you an example, and that has happened. Remember when Saddam Hussein was sending out things and sending out this, and I'm gonna do this and I'll do. What happened? He said that's it. When he launched, and then when he activate the threat. Boom. What happened? That military, they was up on that land saying, where is he at? And that's just the way the mentality. Where is he at? Come on out here. And they say, come on out here. You gonna whoop our ass. Come on out. And that's just basically the mentality. And so when people who instigate something, and you activate something, that somebody's gonna answer the call. That's just basically what it is. And people have been getting away with it, and they feel emboldened and entitled to get away with nonsense. That's why they did what they do. And that's it. It's to confront evil, not about race. It's to confront evil. You know, and to look, put evil back in its order. And sometimes God has to use a man to let another nation know, I'm putting it back in order. And if you look in the history of the Bible, that's what it was. Because when we go back and you look at the Bible again, I love how I use the Bible, and it's a perfect example. When the children of Israel was ran out at 7 AD, all these other nations came in and they took their stuff after they didn't beat them, after they castrate them, after they didn't practically to the point. Some even killed because they feel like it was no end, and they knew they felt terror. So they drowned themselves. They said the mothers killed the children, and killed themselves because they didn't want to be occupied by whatever government, a tyranny was coming over to whoever going to take that land of Israel. And so you have all these different groups of people. He had the Babylonians, and it was the Romans, the Greeks, and all these people infiltrated Israel till one, and then they took something holy, and God, let this happen for so many hundreds of years until He raised up a man like Gideon, and showed him from the distance from the mountain, is to get an army, because I said, you don't take back my land. And here the government, here that they the book says that when they took the Holy of Holies, they put a pig's head, chop the pig's head off, and throw it in blood off, desecrate the holiest place. But when that made God really angry, because it took it on Himself. But as a God, He said, I'm gonna raise an army up, and Gideon and his army whooped every nation around Israel. Because it gets to the point that you get tired of being pushed and being pushed away and shoved away, and people put you in bondage and slavery and making you succumb, killing off your man, killing off your woman in some form or fashion. So what He had to do, he had extreme measures, and this was from the Most High. They don't tell you about this in church sometimes. Sometimes God can be a God of war. It says, let a war know. Now, of course, today that we know that we handle things in the realm. But first of all, sometimes you get to the point, sometimes it takes things physical. Some people, they get arrogant and hard-headed. So they feel like they're big and bold enough until someone has to come along and say, okay, if you ain't got nothing to lose, it's going to be your last day on earth. And there's some people have to make them think that this is gonna be the last day. Okay, you ain't going back to. Is if you bold enough, if you got that much hatred because of my skin, because of my people, that you gonna put some of my people to death, then it's gonna be someone. Is basically, if your hatred is gonna drive you to that point, don't you think that someone from the people you hate is gonna come back at you, and if you're gonna go out like a warrior, like a true warrior, you can say, oh, he fought for the cause, died for the cause. But it'd be evenly matched, not 1 against 20 against 1. It'd be evenly matched, and that's true. If you call for evil, I say the respect of response. That's all what I'm saying, and it makes perfect sense. And that's what that situation was in Georgia. It was called out. That's he responded. Evil saying, "Come." The Goliath was the clan, and we're gonna do what we do in this land. We're gonna run it, and we're gonna do what we do so that when it bolden and bring and say now we can stretch it out to different areas. Therefore, God has to say no. This is why the statues are being teared down, because somebody wants to keep the tyranny up and keep celebrating tyranny and innocent death. That's why the flags are coming, the Confederate flags are coming down, what they stood for. Because they kept, it is about political, but the political is subjugating another human being for this. That's what it was about. They didn't want to lose their industry and want to keep the ones in subjugation, to keep keeping the work so they can keep getting rich. That's what it was all about. So these people wanted to keep that part, what they call their heritage. That's what went along with their heritage. They see people that look like me subhuman. That's what it is, to keep me in a subhuman condition, like the horse or the cattle or the pig. You don't have no voice. You subhuman. That's basically that's what it is. That's what how they look at black people, and some still carry that spirit to this day. And they would basically tell you that's what it's about. It's not about hating on other people. And this is what we've been trying. And some people say, no, that's gone, that's in the past. But the spirit of it, remember, it's still in the land. It's still operating through people. It's still operating to the ones that stand behind the Confederate flag. It's still operating the ones who is a spirit from 200 years ago. Go back to the great coats, the generals. They carry that spirit into generation after generation after generation after generation to right now. That's why I said it can't be over till God gets to the land. Till God steps his foot in the land, because that racism has jumped from generation to generation to generation in this country. The oppression has jumped in this country for that long. So that's what it is. But it was subjugating. But the children of the slaves are rising up from generation to generation to generation, folded, defeated, government castrate them, and they rise again, and they get discouraged again. And this is parallel to the children of Israel. Governments, Egypt had their foot on the Israel for 450 years. Parallel to that. Look at the story. Till one day they were set free. And then you see how the giants came down and decimated Egypt to the point the only thing that's left is rhetoric over there, because they thought they were their gods over them. They thought they were superior over them. That they have no value but a slave, a brick in the salt. This is what you see, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the children of Israel, this children of Israel here is rising that did this to them in this country. They're rising. It's not about, and some of them that don't want violence. Nobody wants the violence. Most black people don't want violence. Luckily don't want revenge. They want justice. That's all what it's about. But some people don't want to do what is right. So they call for, if I can eliminate you some way, I can feel that the God that had me eliminate you, just like they did that you just should try to eliminate the Hebrews, try to do it here in America. And you see what the result of that happened. The Most High ain't seen no group of people gonna be wiped off the planet. They can try, but they gonna reap what they sow. And that's the truth. So I just wanted to make a video, talk about that topic. But that's basically what it's about, confront evil. It's not about hating somebody or disliking somebody because of the color of their skin. It's about confronting evil. Those who speak evil expect result of someone you threat, something gonna come back. Simple as that. Alright, until next time, you guys